Good morning, everyone.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, Rabbi.
We are learning Mishna Kiddushin, Parak Dalet, Chapter 4, Mishnah Yud. And this week's learning has been sponsored by Mrs. Rochelle Golner. Mi sheyatzu ve'ish lemedina sayam. A man who he and his wife went lemedina sayam. They traveled overseas. Okay, they went off to a far-off country, and they left that way, a man and his wife. Both these people, as far as we know, are miyuchasim, meaning they had no problems, no issues of their lineage. There's no lineage problems by them. Uvahu ve'ishta yubana v'amar. Then he returns, he and his wife, who we do not recognize anymore. Him we recognize, she we do not. And they come with children. V'amar, and he said, meaning the man says, Isha shayatzas imi l'medina sayam, the woman who had left with me overseas, but previously, Harehizu, this is her. It's the same woman. She may look different, but it's the same woman. Ve'elu baneha, and these are her children. Ein tzrichan lahavi ra'aya, there's no need to bring any kind of proof. Lo ala isha, not regarding the woman. V'lo ala banim, not regarding the children. So the issue here is like this. The issue here is this man went to a foreign country, and he comes back with someone. He says it's his wife. It says it's his children. Now, as we're going to see soon, there's going to be a situation where it's not as clean cut. Let's actually learn a little further to the ends of the Mishnah. Mesu ve'elu baneha. Now, let's say he claims that, meaning he comes back only with the children. And he says, Mesa, my wife died, ve'elu baneha, and these are her children. Maybe ra'aya al habanim. In that case, he must bring proof regarding the children that they are indeed his wife's children. But he not bring a raya about the woman because the woman was already known that she was okay. So the Mishnah here is saying this man is going to be believed regarding his wife, right? Let's say in the first case, she goes out, he comes back with we know that he left with a wife. We know both he and his wife were qualified. They had no any kind of disqualification in their lineage. And now he comes back with a woman that we don't recognize her anymore. Over time, she's changed. And they have children. So will we believe him to say that this is the same woman that he left with? And the answer is, says the Mishnah, yes, we do. We do believe that. We don't believe that he's making up a story that really what happened was that his first wife died, and he married another woman, and he's coming back with her and claiming that it's that woman. We don't suspect that. There's nothing that we suspect. And what about the children, right? And the children, if we know that the children are her children, and we know that she's okay because we're assuming she's the same woman who we knew was okay before they left. If we know it's her children, there's no problem. How do we know it's her children? So interestingly, the halacha is that this law applies where the children are young and are clearly attached to her, which shows that she is their mother. If the children are older and not attached to their mother, he must bring proof that they are this woman's children. So regarding the children, not so simple to go ahead and say he's just believed. But if the circumstances show us that's their children, why? Because they're hanging on to her. They're very attached to her. So that's enough for us to know it's her children. And since we know that she was okay, the children are okay. So that's the first half of the Mishnah. But in the second half of the Mishnah, where he says, well, she died, right? She died, but these are her children. Okay, she's not here anymore, right? We don't have her to work with to establish the status of the children. And therefore, regarding the wife, does he have to start bringing proof about her yichus? He doesn't have to, because we believe him that he had a wife and that wife was okay, which we knew that he had that before. The only question is, are these children that woman's children? And therefore, for that, you have to bring proof. You have to bring some kind of witnesses that say that we know that these children are that woman's children. And then everything's going to be okay. All right? Now, what's the issue here? Why are we checking out their yichus? Why should we be concerned that maybe there's something wrong with these children? So the truth is, and we're going to see even more in the next Mishnah. Just want to see something here. Yeah. Okay. 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 Now, the issue here is like this. Even though, in essence, these people, unless, everybody starts off, this is an explanation from the Tiferes Yisrael. Everybody starts off with what's called a chetzkas kashrus. If we have no reason to believe there's something wrong with you, we assume you're okay. We had situations before when a Kohen wants to marry a woman, right? And he's going to go checking into her yichus and everything like that to check that there's no disqualifications of the Kohen, no mamzeris. That's where there was some kind of a rumor of sorts. Yeah. Either a rumor or people are saying things, people are really saying things like there's a real claim against them. And then you got to prove things. Here, that's not seemingly the situation. However, as we know, as we learned in the previous Mishnah, if a family wants to marry into the Kohanim, right, the Kohanim check them out. Right? Kohanim check them out. So therefore, the point here is that when we have this kind of a situation where the guy left and he doesn't come back with his wife and there are children, if you want to make sure that those children are going to be considered up and up for a Kohen to marry, then you got to do this. You want them just to go ahead and marry anybody, you don't have to check them out. But if you want them to be they want to be the kind of family that is considered has no disqualifications to the point that a Kohen would marry them, then you're going to have to start proving things here. So that's why we have this whole issue here. Should we believe him? Do we need to check out things? Because we're talking here basically if you want to marry into a family that is very particular about the lineage, you want to make sure that everything everything is really qualified the way it should be. Like we learned in a previous Mishnah that if a family that's going to marry into a Kohen, the Kohen has to check out that family well to make sure that there are no disqualifications. So that's why if these children want to be able to marry into the family of a Kohen, things got to be checked out. Now, in the first case, they don't have to be checked out because the mother's there. In the second case, they do, because the mother's not there. Now, let's do Mishnah Yud Aleph, Mishnah 11. Isha da Hayam, new story. New story. He says, this woman that I have with me here, I married her overseas. Meaning he didn't leave with her. We knew him, but we don't know her whatsoever. And he says, Harehu Zay ve'elu baneha. This is her, and these are her children. We know nothing about her. So therefore the Mishnah says, maybe Raya Isha, it's got to first bring a proof regarding the woman, meaning got to check out her lineage to make sure that everything is going to be okay. Like we said before, the mother, check out the mother and things like that. Vein sarach levi raya al habanim. But no need to bring proof to the children, again, if the children are young enough, right, that because they're so attached to her, we have the right to assume that it's her children. And then the children don't have to be checked. Once she's checked, the children will be okay. And him we know already. But if, let's say, the story goes, Mesa ve'elu baneha, I married a woman overseas, she died, these are her children, then, sarach levi raya al ha'isha v'al habanim. You're going to have to bring proof about the woman and the children. Because, meaning you got to bring proof about the woman, that there's no disqualifications about her, because we didn't know her. And you're going to have to bring a proof about the children that these were her children, that these are her children. And then once we know that there's a proof that these are her children, and you've also gone through the investigation of proving that the woman was not disqualified in any way, then the children will be okay. Have a wonderful day, wonderful Shabbos.
Thank you, Rabbi.